What's going on, y'all? It's CJ and we are here to talk about life after lockup. And before we get started, make sure as always you thumbs up this video and feel free to comment throughout the video as you would like, and make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And now that we have all that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about season 3, episode 25, titled Downward Spirals. Now, I always do the stories that I feel are most interesting to least interesting. So with this episode, we'll go ahead and start with Sarah and Michael. I gave them the most interesting spot this episode because we get a lot of the same thing from everybody else. But anyway, we saw Malcolm left last week. He was out of there. Not really sure how he felt about his relationship with Sarah going forward. He knows that he still likes her, but he's not really sure if the love is there, especially after seeing how she and Michael interacted with one another. He is kind of on the fence about it, as he ought to be. But anyway, we see Sarah and Michael. They're on the porch talking, and Sarah says that Malcolm does make her happy and that she needed to show Malcolm the Michael side of her life so that he could, I guess, get a taste of the craziness that she deals with when dealing with Michael, to see if this is something that he still wants to do. But Michael says that, you know, lately he's been stressed, and since he's been stressed, that has caused him to start lashing out. And things were really stressful with him and Maria, to the point where Maria had started constantly calling the cops on him being, you know, just, you know, recently incarcerated or let out of jail. He kind of feels away because he feels like she doesn't have his best interest at heart, and that every time she gets upset with him, she can call the police, which can stand the chance of him getting locked up again. And so he's telling Sarah all of this, and Sarah is just eating out of the palm of his hand. I mean, he's laying it on thick, and she's like, I knew something was wrong when you didn't show up to court. No, something was wrong because Michael had a female there and they drank the night before and he was too drunk to get up. But that's a different story for a different day. But anyway, she basically said, he tells her, like, right before they got there, how he and Maria got into an argument, and she literally stopped in the middle of the street, gets out of the car, starts yelling and arguing on their way to the airport. And that was kind of when he figured out, you know, this is toxic. I don't need to be with her. I'm pretty much done. And so he uses that word toxic regarding Maria, but I'm sure Michael has probably sold her a dream and she bought into it, and she's not as forgiving and is just not gonna let him get out of it that easy. But anyway, Sarah, you know, she's just eating it up, letting Michael, you know, she's eating out of the palm of his hand. I mean, he knows he has her right where he wants her at this point. And we later, you know, I forgot to mention, he talks about how in this moment, you know, with them hugging and talking or whatever, this brings him back to the time where he and Sarah first got together, the feelings, you know, of her actually listening to him and being there for him. But anyway, now we later see Sarah, you know, she brings the kids to the hotel to see Michael because she feels like him seeing his kids will make things better. And I mean, that's the reason he's supposed to be there in the first place. So she's taking him there, and she lets us know that she doesn't have to be in a relationship with Michael to be there for him. And she even offers, you know, she asks how long he's going to stay there, and he says he'll be there probably a week, another week or two. And she tells him that he doesn't have to stay at the hotel, that he can stay with her. Now, the first thing that I thought, and Michael, you know, have you talked to Malcolm about this? You know, how is he going to feel or whatever? And so she's like, I will talk to him. that'll be it for me. If I were Malcolm, I mean, that would be the last straw. Her and Michael could stay together for 100 days as far as I'm concerned at that point, because I would not be dealing with her, but we'll see how that goes. Now, they start talking, and Michael claims, that he's been there for the kids, and this causes, him and Sarah to get into an argument, because Sarah says that you haven't really been there the way that you like to think you have, and that you need to give me my props. You need to take responsibility and give me some appreciation for all that I have done. I've held the kids down. I've held them down while you were out gallivanting with the lady of the week or whoever you decided you were with at that time. So they start arguing, and she ends up leaving the youngest child there with him and takes the oldest daughter, and they just leave. I don't even think the baby had any shoes on. She just walks out with the little girl and tells him, you can have it or have at it or whatever she tells him, and she walks out. But, he's saying that basically she got pissed off because he said that her being mad at him often tends to dictate his relationship with his kids. And she didn't like him saying that, so she got up in true Sarah fashion and she walked out. So the second most interesting story, I guess, I'll just give it to Quaylon and Chevelle. This episode honestly did not give me a lot. It wasn't just like a wow episode. It almost seemed kind of filler, if there could be a filler episode. But Quaylon, he's on the phone basically telling anybody that'll listen that he misses Chevelle. He wants his family back. He wants his girl back. He misses his daughter. And we see Chevelle, and she's talking to Maila, her daughter, and she asks her if she misses her daddy, and she says yes. Again, if that's the narrative that they want to push, that's fine. She feels like he's been more of a father figure to her daughter than her actual father, because she never talks about the actual father, so we don't even know where he is. But anyway, she says that she misses daddy, and Quaylon actually has plans of his own. He's planning on crashing Chevelle's trip to Branson because he thinks that she's probably going there with a guy, and he's about to try and go and make sure that no other guy is trying to steal his girl that he cheated on. But anyway, so he's telling his sister, that he is going to get his girl back. He's going to go to Branson. She thinks that he's crazy because she thinks, if Chevelle has moved on, that says a lot about her. But it says a lot about Quaylon. Quaylon had a emotional relationship. Let him tell it, but it sounded physical according to the text. He had a whole relationship with Miss Chi-Town on the side, but y'all are still out here trying to make Chevelle seem like she's just this horrible person. But nonetheless, the sister, she's on the Chevelle hate train, but Quaylon, he's not hearing any of that. He's going to get his girl back, and that's just going to be that on that. So in that little quick scene that they show us, we see Quaylon, he's FaceTiming Maila. She's happy to see him. He's happy to see her. She sings her ABCs. He's just, making a song out of it. It was a real cute little scene, but he tells us that he's determined to be a part of her life and be there for her because his father wasn't there for him. Again, Quaylon has assumed this role of being her dad, which is admirable because he doesn't have to. But I think that they're doing a lot real fast. And this, if they aren't together anymore, they're even talking like they're divorced, husband and wife or something. She's telling Maila, even if Quaylon and I aren't together, he'll always, be there for you and all this other madness. But anyway, so it's the day of the trip, and Chevelle is taking Demar, which she was originally going to take Quaylon, she said. But since Quaylon is not in the picture at the moment, she's taking her cousin Demar and, of course, Maila. So they're on their way to Branson. And then we also see that Quaylon is on his way to Branson also. He is leaving Texas, and I think he's taking a plane there. But he's going to crash this party because he wants his girl back. And Chevelle is telling Cuz, you know, that she did go on a date with the J guy, which I had an opinion about that. But after talking to somebody in one of the WeTV comments, I learned that it was never anything serious. That guy is actually married and Chevelle was at the wedding. And this was just kind of something, a storyline, I guess, to put in there so that she wouldn't just look completely pathetic and that she couldn't move on from Quaylen. But we knew that she couldn't move on from Quaylen, whether she went on 1 date or 5 dates. But anyway, that was just something. But she tells her cousin she went on a date with him and he helped her realize her worth again. But in the same breath, she tells Cuz that she still likes or loves Quaylen, and Cuz just thinks that she's out of her mind as usual, and she's still in love with them. And that's pretty much the last we see of them. I can already tell where that story's gonna go, but whatever. So then we go to Puppy and Amber. Mom, you know, it's the next morning. Mom and Amber are in the kitchen making breakfast. We see Puppy. She comes up and Mom just gets straight to business and she tells Puppy that she's going to have to get a job. Puppy knows she's got to get a job. And she also wants to know if they had any hanky-panky the night before. Mom just really seems to be obsessed with this relationship between Puppy and Amber. And for good reason, because Mom doesn't want Puppy getting so attached to Amber, because deep down, Mom knows some things about Amber. And Amber's been living with Mom since she's been out, and she got out first. So I'm pretty sure she knows if Amber is seeing other people or how serious Amber really is about her daughter. So she's like, you know, I mean what I say. Y'all can't get down in my house like that. And so they understand that. And Amber says to her mom that, you know, they're just best friends, to Puppy's mom, that they're just best friends. Now, Amber says they need to focus on Puppy's readjustment and not their relationship, which is true. Puppy just got out. Puppy needs to focus on becoming, you know, a citizen again out in these streets instead of being an inmate where she's been for the past, I don't know how many years. But anyway, Mom just says that she doesn't want Puppy going out because she knows that could lead to trouble also. And she doesn't want her going out all the time. And Puppy says that she understands and she knows, you know, she feels like she's in a different place this time. She's got Amber. And she is kind of wondering, though, if Amber feels the same way about her that she feels about her. I know, as if y'all understood that. But I think Puppy's mom knows more about the situation because she feels like if Amber upsets Puppy or breaks Puppy's heart, that this could kind of push her over the edge and she doesn't know what she'll do. She may do something that may get her locked up again. We don't know. But while Amber is in her confessional, she has one of those moments like Shonda did with Tyrese. Her phone rings and it's the automated operator lady telling her that she has a collect call from like a corrections facility. She accepts the charges and it's a guy on the line and he's like, "What's up, beautiful? Hey, beautiful," or something. She's like, "Hey, baby." He's like, "Hey, beautiful," or something. And it's a guy. So the production is like, who was that? And then we see this like sinister grin on Amber's face. So it's just like, okay, Amber, so are you really playing Puppy? What's the deal? What's the tea? Let us know what's up. But I'm kind of interested. Their story has taken a whole new turn at this point because I was thinking, okay, she may not necessarily be that into Puppy right now because they need to figure out, you know, being on the inside was one type of relationship because they were all that the other person had. But now on the outside, they need to see if being in a different element still has them, you know, to have the same feelings. But obviously no, because Amber is dealing with a whole man on the side. So I can't wait to see how this story unfolds. But that was the end of their story. And then we go to Andrea and Lamar. Now, Andrea is cussing. She's at home. Lamar pulls up. She is cussing him out before he even makes it through the door. And the kids think that most of their issues could be resolved if they just talk instead of always arguing like they do. And a lot of it seems like Andrea gets off on this arguing, this breakup to makeup kind of stuff. She seems to like that. She seems to enjoy that part of the relationship. But the kids are over it. It disturbs them. It disturbs their peace. They're tired of it. And Andrea just makes it sound like she would have been perfectly fine if Lamar would have told her that he was taking Priscilla to see her sister, her older sister, Shantae. I don't ever think there has ever been a moment where Andrea is just perfectly fine with Lamar doing anything that she does not agree with. She is very strong-willed. She's very stubborn, bullheaded, and I don't think that she would have been down for that. She claims that she didn't have a relationship with Shantae because of Lamar. She says that Lamar told her or didn't want Shantae to know that Priscilla was her little sister. And because of that, I guess their relationship is estranged. But that doesn't make sense to me because I saw the first season and I saw the way Andrea act towards Lamar's ex and, you know, his daughter with the ex, Shantae. She acted a plumb fool with them. And anybody that watched that first season saw that she wanted nothing to do with either one of them. She claimed that she just didn't want the mom being involved because she shouldn't have had a reason to be involved at that point because Shantae was grown. But I don't think she wanted anything to do with his former life at all before her. She didn't want him really hanging out with his family, as we saw. There were just a lot of things that she didn't like. She wanted Lamar all to herself, and she wanted Lamar to be this man that she envisioned him being. But anyway, he's outside, you know, Lamar's talking and he's saying, you know, that he doesn't have to tell her where he's taking his child. If he wants to take one of his children to see his other child, then that's his business and his right. So he's talking, and Andrea overhears him outside during his confessional. She comes out there interrupting, you know, talking about, I hear you talking about me. And I mean, yeah, he's talking about you. Y'all are on a reality show. Who else is he going to talk about? But she was, you know, going out there interrupting his deal. The kids got to come get her again and bring her crazy ass in the house. It's just so much with Andrea. And then she comes in the house. She's taking pictures off the wall. She's like, this represents a happy family and we're not that right now. And she is just acting a damn fool in true Andrea fashion. But that's the end of them. So then we go to Brittany and Marcelino. Marcelino's meeting his mom at the laundromat, and he is basically telling her he's at his wit's end with Brittany's mom. And he says that her mom constantly comes in the picture and she's constantly letting Brittany down, and he's tired of it. He doesn't want that around his children, and he doesn't want it affecting Brittany, and he really wishes that Brittany would just let it go. But we learn from his mom that, you know, she herself dealt with alcoholism for 14 years and she was a functioning alcoholic. So I guess she drank a lot, but she worked and she still did what she needed to do to make things happen. And he also tells us that substance abuse was big in his family. He's had family members stab one another, shoot one another. And so he's seen the sides of substance abuse and what it could do to families. And he just really wishes that Brittany would cut her mom off completely. But Brittany can't do that. That's her mom. And she's not at that point where she wants to cut her mom off. His mom also says that Brittany's mom is going to have to reach absolute rock bottom. She's going to have to do it. That's going to be the only way that she's going to want to change her life around. And they kind of leave that conversation there. So then we go home and we see Brittany. You know, she says she's been calling her mom ever since the therapy session, and she hasn't gotten an answer from her, and she's afraid that she might have pushed her mom too far. So she wants Marcelino to go with her. They want to go check on her. They want to make sure that she's good. Marcelino doesn't really want to go because he feels like they need to let her do what she wants to do. She's probably somewhere downtown, you know, doing her, and she'll be all right. But Brittany is afraid that something bad could have happened. So they take the pit bull with them, and they wait on his mom. His mom comes to watch the kids. Marcelino's making light of the situation, and he's joking about it. And Brittany's getting upset because it's not funny to her at all, because this is her mother. And he still, you know, he doesn't apologize, because I think he's just over it. And he's not as, I guess, empathetic as Brittany is, because first of all, it's her mom, not his. And he probably doesn't have like a really close relationship with her anyway. But anyway, they get there to the motel, and they're knocking on. She sends Marcelino. He tells her leave the truck running, because they're afraid of this side of town, and especially when it gets dark. So they're already on edge. He's knocking on the door, no answer. So he tells Brittany to, you know, appease his wife. He tells her he's going to go and try and get a key. So he's talking to the lady at the front desk. And it's funny because the lady, he's mic'd up, but the camera people are outside. I guess they don't let her know that they're there because they don't want to show her if she does indeed break, you know, the rule and give Marcelino the key. So Marcelino kind of sweet talks her, offers her $20 to get her nails done. She takes it, gives him the key, tells him 15 minutes. He goes, he tells, you know, Brittany, we got 10 minutes. You got to go. We got to go now. So they go, they take the dog out, and they go to the door and they unlock it, and that's where they leave it. So we'll figure out if they find mom inside or not on the next episode. Oh, I almost forgot about them because they were just that uneventful. We see, who was it? Oh, Scott and Lindsay. So after Lindsay put all Scott's stuff outside to get rained on, her mom asked her about Tarabelle, and Lindsay basically is determined that Tarabelle is going to park that RV in the driveway, and she's going to stay there because that's her girlfriend. But she doesn't tell mom that part either. Her mom thinks that she and Miley Grace should just come and stay with her. She doesn't want to do that because she says that her mom's place is small. No, I think that you will just have more rules at your mom's place and you're not trying to be there. And I think I said that last week. But anyway, her mom just says that she didn't think that Lindsay was capable of really loving or caring about anybody but Miley Grace, not even her as being her mom. But she says she's different with Miley Grace. She actually shows love and care, you know, and concern when it comes to her, which, I mean, she should because that's her daughter. But anyway, Lindsay, you know, feels like she shouldn't have to give up the house because Scott is nothing but a fat lip liar. And tell us how you really feel, Lindsay. I guess she just feels like about the prostitutes, about him not having any money. He told her he was a millionaire. She was thinking she was coming home to this nice, luxurious life. And she turns out she's living not even 10 miles from me. And that's so funny to me. But anyway, and it's not a bad neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood, actually. It's just that they don't keep their yard up. So it's a bad yard, I guess. So, but anyway, that's another story for another day. And that's pretty much where they end. We see Scott pulling up, and I guess the fireworks are going to begin. They're going to have their spat, and we'll see what comes of that. But that was all I had about this episode. If I left anything out that y'all want to talk about, y'all always know, drop it down in the comments. We'll talk about it. I guess next week will be better. And as always, like I said, don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.